Okay, we talked about a few laws of significant numbers. First one was all non-zeros are significant, right? Zeros between non-zeros are significant again, right? A trailing zero or final zero in decimal portion only are significant. Otherwise, they are not. It's only if it's in the decimal, a trailing zero will be significant. Otherwise, they will not be. So these are the basic laws which we need to remember, right? Now, based on this, let's see a few examples of significant zeros and significant numbers, right? For example, if you have a number 6675, how many significant numbers are there?
4.
4. What about 0.543? Anyone?
1.
4.
No.
3.
3 is correct. Look at this question, what I was saying, all non-zeros are significant. So only the non-zeros are significant. Trailing zeros or final zeros in decimal portion only are significant. So there is nothing here. So this 0 over here will be not significant. So only 3 significant digits over here, right? Now, if any 0 or non-zero digit, if any 0 precedes a non-zero digit, then it is not significant. So in this case, you see that the 0 is preceding a significant digit, a non-zero digit. So this will not be a significant digit, right? For example, again, what about 0.005?
3.
3 or 1?
1.
1. Again, first rule over here. All non-zeros are significant. Only one significant over here. Since all these are preceding it, so they will be non-significant. Had it been, supposing we had a 5 over here, then yes, these would become significant, right? Let's look at a few more. What about 0.00232?
3.
3, correct. Only 3 of them, all others will not be taken as significant. Clear? Now, if there is a 0 between non-two zero digits, then it will also be significant. For example, 4.5006. How many significant digits figures will it be?
5.
5. Anyone disagrees? Right? Third one is trailing zeros or zeros at the end of a decimal portion only are significant. Right? So zeros at the end of, to the right of the number are also significant when the digits are concerned. For example, 0.500.
3.
3.
3,
3.
right? Second rule. Third rule, sorry. 0 trailing zeros in the decimal are significant. So there'll be 3 of them here, right? Okay. Let's take a few examples. Again, let's take a few more. 4308. Quickly.
4.
4.
Rest
4.
of you all Rest of you all also tell me, only 2 or 3 of you are answering. Rest of you all are on mute. You can unmute or you can type it out in the chat screen also.
Four.
4,
4.
6,
6,
6.
Can anybody tell me how?
Oh.
Because the last 4 zeros are not significant.
Right? So what did we say? The first rule: all non-zeros are significant, except if they are in trailing zeros are there in the decimal portion only. So had I had this, supposing I had 4.70, in this case there would be 3. Okay, but in this case, when there is no decimal, the trailing zeros in this case will not be taken into consideration. So all the trailing zeros, since it's not a decimal, will not be significant. Clear about this, everyone?
yes, sir.
Okay, what about 4.00?
3.
2. 1. Sorry. 4. 3.
3. 3.
No. 3.
Who said 4? There are not even 4 digits over here. How can it be 4? All non-zeros are significant, so this is significant. Trailing zeros in decimal portion only are significant. So these trailing zeros, they are also significant. So 3 of them. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, try this one.
Three.
3,
3,
3,
3. Only trailing zeros after the decimal plus the non-zero digit, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think you're clear
So
with
I
this.
didn't understand how 3.
First, the non-zero digit. Is that clear? 5.
Yes.
Okay, so 1 digit over here. Then what did we say? Trailing zeros. Trailing zeros are end zeros only. So only
Okay.
zeros which appear at the end of a decimal will be there. For example, you look at this one, when we had 0.005, we said only one significant digit was there. Yes? So all the earlier ones are going to be ignored.
Yes.
5 is going to take in place. And all the decimals which have a trailing zero in the end. For example, look at this one here, 0.500. In this, 5 is also taken, 0 is also taken, and 0 is also taken 3. So similarly, we have 3 over here. Right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's try to take a few rounding off now. Yes, Parth?
Sir, I was asking that what is the use of significant digits?
Significant digits are used a lot in science. Well, so when we do physics and chemistry, we have to find out to the degree of what degree of calculations have we utilized them. So in that case, significant digits is used a lot.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, in maths, we usually do it in rounding off, whereas in science, in physics and chemistry, we use significant digits. Okay, quickly
Okay,
round this
sir.
off to, I want you to round it off to 2 significant digits, 3 significant digits, and 4 significant digits. Let me call one of you. Aryan,
Sir, it will be 7, 4, and then 4 zeros.
correct. Avni,
It will be 7, 4, 2, and then 3 zeros.
Krishna,
yes, sir.
rounded off to 4 significant digits, this number here.
7, 7, 4, 7420.
No. How can the number be 7420 when we have a 6-digit number over here? Whatever answer I'll get in 6 digits itself, right?
Yes, sir. 742. Zero, zero, zero.
Could you repeat yourself? 742?
74.
Yeah.
742 000.
That was 3 significant digits. You were not paying attention. 4 significant digits will be 4 digits, isn't it, Krishna?
Yes, sir.
So base this on this.
742400.
400, right? So we need 4 numbers
Yes,
of
sir.
4 digits in this case. Clear? Siddhant Garve, that was wrong. Let's try another one. Anyone has a doubt, please raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, next number 0.07284. I want all of you all to message me. Again, 432. Let's do it the reverse way now. 4 significant digits, 3 significant digits, and 2 significant digits. Quickly. Palash Prabhu, tell me till 4 significant digits.
Yes, sir. Sir, it will be 1 second. 0.728000.
How? We only look at the non-zero numbers and only trailing zeros and decimals. So these two will not be.
Sir, 7000.
How? We have a decimal itself, right? So it will be 0.07284. In this case, you see only
Yes.
these 4 are the significant digits, right?
Yes, sir.
So we leave it as it is. Rishima, Samita, Siddhant Garve. Is it clear now? Avni, that's correct. Yes, Parth, I'm aware of it, but a lot of you all are not getting it, so I'm repeating it. Is this clear, everyone? Okay, 3 significant digits. Rajvi,
Sir, could you please repeat the answer?
0.07284, the same number itself. Right? See what happening?
Yes.
Zero over here is just being used to place 7. So the first significant digit is 7. From this will be the first, this will be second, this will be third, and this will be fourth. So I will look at only this portion and I'll round it off. Had I had something over here like maybe 5, then I would round this off over here. So this is the 4 digits which I'm going to look at. Rajvi?
Sir, but the 0 after the decimal is important, right?
Only in the end, the trailing zeros only, not after decimal. For example, when we had 0.0.
We had a 4 significant digits.
Rishima, when we had 0.05, how many significant digits will it be here?
1.
1. So same thing, the earlier ones are being ignored. Had it been 0.050, this would change to 2. So we would have 2 because the trailing 0 is taken in decimals. Rajvi?
Sir, could you once again repeat the answer for the 4 significant digits one?
Same one, 0.07284.
0.07. Okay, it will remain same because of the.
Yeah, because see, it's very simple. Even if I have some kind of digits over here, okay, ignore the 0 in the initial parts. Okay, start with
Okay.
the non-zero number. That will be the first significant digits when it goes for decimals. And from here, how many we want, we take accordingly. So if this is a pure case of a pure decimal
Okay.
number, which no kind of whole number there, then we do it in this way. So this will be the first one, this will be second, this will
So
be,
if we
this will be fourth. Yes, Rajni?
So if we didn't consider the zeros, both the zeros, why do we take it in the answer?
Because these are placeholders, right? It's 7 is upon, it's actually 7 upon 100, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the place value of 7. So how can you change the place value?
Okay.
That is why. Yes, Avni, you have a doubt?
Yes, sir. For this one, two significant digits, the answer is 0.07300, right?
No, it's not 0, 0. I'm coming to that. Check your answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Rajvi, tell me for 3 now quickly. She got cut, disconnected. Who's there? Rishima?
Yes, sir.
Tell me for 3
Zero.
digits.
0.07 280.
0.0728 itself. We will not take 0 because if I take 0.07280, then this will become 4 significant digits, isn't it? Because this trailing 0 is also taken. So this will
Oh,
become 4
yes.
and this, we want 3. So we're going to leave it as 0.0728. So these are the 3 significant digits which are there.
Okay, sir.
Avni, clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are not taking the last trailing 0 because if I add this 0, it will become 4, not 3. Okay. Samita, 2 significant digits.
0.072.
No. 7, 2 will depend upon 8. Is 8 greater than 5 or lesser than 5?
Greater than 5. So 3.
3. Right, so that is 2 significant digits. Aryan, is it clear? So whichever place value is there, you
Yes,
cannot
sir.
change that. We just look at the number of significant digits and change accordingly. Avni, you have a doubt?
Oh, so sorry, I forgot to lower my hand.
Let's do another one. Let's take a mixed number now. 231.45. Again, 432. All of you will work it out quickly. Sarah?
Yes, sir.
First one, 4 significant digits.
For significant digits, sir.
Rishima, that's correct. Look at the first significant digits and go towards the right, four steps there. Samita, correct? So start at the first significant digit. What will be the first significant digit? Yes, Siddharth Singhal, that's wrong.
2.
2. Next one.
3.
3. Third one.
1.
1. And now 4, right? 0.4. Now 4 will depend upon this number. So what will it become? Rishima, that's wrong. Aryan, correct. So 4 will depend on 5. Is 5 greater than 5 or less than 5? Or equal to 5?
Equal to.
So what will happen to 4? Rounding off, Sarah. We did it in 3rd standard, I guess.
It will become 5.
It will become 5. Now, do we put a 0 over here? Or should we leave it because we want 4 significant digits? Are you complete with 4 significant digits?
Yes, so we should put a 0.
So we should not put 0. We're going to leave the answer here itself. right?
Hmm.
Any doubts, anyone? Rishima, where did you go wrong? Siddhant Singhal?
Sir, I put the 0 after.
No, you don't need to put it. If it become 5, trailing 0 in the decimal place counts as a significant digit. Remember I just told you that?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Rishima,
Sir, I don't know.
what do you mean you don't know? You gave an answer. How
Sir,
do you
I
know?
don't. So 232, 231.5 should be rounded to 232, right?
But if I do that, how many if I write 232, how many significant digits is this?
3.
How many do we want?
Sir, I was giving you the second answer. I thought we had to give it in like one after the other.
Okay. Yeah, for second one, okay, that's correct. So second one would be 7. Okay, now second one would say itself would be wrong. Again, Rishima, that would be wrong. Rishima, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we do it for 3 digits, so these are the 3 digits, right? And the third digit will depend on this digit here. So what will the answer become?
Oh, okay. So it will be 231.
231. So we're not going to round this off and then round this off. That is wrong. We're just going to look at the right one here.
So we look at like the main question. We don't look at the rounding off.
With 3, so we're just looking at third digit. Now to base the third digit, we just do it on the fourth one.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
We ignore all the rest. Last one. Sia.
Yes, sir.
Last one.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
The last digit. The last one. Rounding off to 2 significant digits.
2314.
No. No, Sia, that's wrong. We need 2 digits here. So which will be the first 2 digits, significant digits, which are non-zeros?
2 and 3.
2, 3, 1.45. These are 2 significant digits. The second significant digit will be based on this, right?
Yes.
So what will the answer become? Is 1 greater than 5 or less than 5? Same thing what we do with rounding off. The answer would be 2, 3 as such, because 3 is now going to change because 1 is lesser than 5. But remember, the problem here is if we look at the original number has another value over here, right? It has 1, so it is 230. How can 230 be equal to 23? So I'm going to add a 0 here to keep the same place values of each number. So for 2 significant digits, it's going to be 230 over here.
Okay.
Right? If I write 23, assuming this, how can I have an answer as 23? Will be not equal to 231 rounded up, right?
Yes, sir.
So 2, 3 in the case of significant digits, to keep the same value of 2 as 200, 3 as 30, I would have to add this 0 here. I cannot write 23. 23 would be wrong. Everyone, all of you all have written 23, that is wrong.
Okay.
Siddhant, Garve, Singhal, Aryan, Samita, is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
the trailing digit is counted.
No, it's not.
Like practically speaking.
Only if it's a decimal. Here it's not a decimal, so it's not counted. That is why it converts into 2.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, but we do not write 2, 3 because if we do this, this will become 20. Right? Whereas the place value of 2 was 200. So to keep the value the same, we will have to add the 0, which is not taken as a significant number.
Sir, so what if they told you to round it off to one significant digit?
Tell me, what will it be 1 for? So 1 will be 2. 2 will depend upon 3, so it will remain 2, and we will have 0, 0 after that.
Oh, okay. So like we carry on with the zeros.
With the zeros there.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Yeah. I hope significant digits is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's continue with, we are finished with squares and square roots. Let's do cube and cube roots, which is highly related to squares and square roots. There's a very small difference between both. Let's try to do that. Just a sec. Okay. We already studied about squares and square roots, right? Now we'll also try to understand what is cube of a natural number. What is the cube of a natural number? A cube is any number with 3 as the exponent. That is basically cube. So any number raised to the power of 3 will become a cube of a number, or x cubed, if that is the simplest way. Which also means that x cubed is x into x into x, right? For example, 4 cubed will be 4 into 4 into 4, which is 16, 16 4s are 64. Right? So that is basically what is called a cube of a number. The cube of a positive number is always positive. Unlike, okay, for example, 2 cubed will be 2 is a plus 2. Let's take plus 2 cubed will become positive 8. The cube of a negative number is always negative, unlike squares, in which it was always positive. For example, now minus 2 cubed, the answer would be minus 8. This is a big difference between squares and cubes. In cubes, if it is a cube of a positive number, it will always be positive. For negative number, it will always be negative. Right? Okay, that is a cube of a natural number. Then we have something called perfect cube. What is a perfect cube? Anyone? Similar to what we had perfect square. We have a perfect cube, which is any number which is the product of 3 identical numbers or 3 same numbers. Is called a perfect cube. For example, 1 cubed can be written as 1 into 1 into 1. So we have the 3 identical numbers, which is 1. So 1 is a perfect cube. 2 cubed, which is 2 into 2 into 2, which is 8. 8 is a perfect cube in this case. Right? So all these 1, 8, so on, we can have 27, 64, 125 are all perfect cubes. Right? How to find if a number is a perfect cube? Express as a factor. So find out the factors, right? The prime factors. Similar to how we did in squares, we did pairs. So here we group into triplets instead of pairs, right? And if no factor is left, then it's a perfect cube.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, is there a division kind of method for cube roots like there is with square roots?
Yes, we can take it out with division method also, but it's a little bit more complicated one. So we don't usually do that. So we usually use only the prime factorization method.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, please copy this down. If you all are through with, if you're thorough with squares and square roots, cube and cube roots is very easy. Copy this down. We can continue then. It's all similar to what we did earlier. We're just making squares. Instead of squares, we have cubes. And instead of square roots, we have cube roots. In squares, we have product of two numbers itself will give you a perfect square. In this case, perfect cube will be a product of three identical numbers. In perfect square, we had to group the factors, prime factors, into pairs of two. Whereas in perfect cube, if a number is a perfect cube, if its prime factors can be grouped into triplets, right? And no other factor remains outside. Can I erase this? Anyone still copying? It's pretty basic stuff. Aryan, lower your hand once you're done. Okay. Let's do a quick one. Which of these numbers is a perfect square or perfect cube? One 28, 2, 3, 3, 7, 5. So Ramya,
3375.
Siddhant Singhal,
Yes, sir.
tell me 128, is it a perfect square and how do I find that out?
Prime factorization method.
Okay, do the prime factors quickly.
So it will be then 64,
Yeah,
then 32,
yeah.
then 16, then 8, then 4, then 2, and 2.
And 1 in the end, right? So 128 can be written as 2 into
2 into 2 into 2, like that 7 times.
6, 7, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now what do we do? Since it's a cube, we have to group them into triplets.
Yeah.
One number is left out. That means 128 is not a perfect square, perfect cube, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Ramya, what about 3375? So Ramya, I cannot hear you. Siddhant Garve?
Yes, sir.
Hear me? 3375, check if it's a perfect cube.
Yes, sir. So we will do it by prime factorization method.
Yeah.
So we will take 5.
Okay. Start with
5, 6.
why don't you start with 3? That make it a habit of going from smallest to highest. Do it with 3 first.
Okay, sir. So 1, 2, 5.
Yeah. Then.
So then again 3.
Yeah.
So 3.
Yeah.
So and then 7.
7. How?
Uh,
5.
so okay. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
3375 can be written as 3 into 3 into 3 into 5 into 5 into 5. Now we group them in triplets. We see that the triplets are done, so they cut the factors. And incidentally, what will be the factor? 3 into 5, which is 15. So if we have to take out the cube root of 3375, the cube root will be 15.
15.
We take one factor from each of the triplets. Similar to what we did in square roots, we took one factor each from the pairs. Here, in the case of cube root, we will take one factor from each of the triplets which are there. Right? Okay, let's do another one. Quickly message me your answer. What is the smallest number by which 2160 should be divided to make it a perfect cube? Message me your answer. Same thing what we did in squares and perfect squares, we do it in perfect cube, except we do it in triplets here. Message me your answer once you're through. Let me see who gets it first. Anyone? Parth correct, Avni correct. Samita correct. Siddhant Singhal correct. Okay, let's one of you do it. Datik. Siddhant Garve, that's wrong. Rishima, it's not a perfect cube. Datik.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what do I do over here?
Yes, sir. So
Siddhant Garve, wrong. Datik, find out the factors of 2160. Gatik, I cannot hear you. Rishima? So Ramya, that's correct. Rishima?
Yes, sir.
Tell me factors.
So 2.
Yeah.
So that will make it 1080.
Yeah. Quickly, just tell it quickly.
2.
Yeah.
542. 273. 90. Oh, yeah.
So 2
That's what I
again.
meant.
135. 270 is divisible by 2.
Okay, sir.
So 3, 45.
Yes, sir.
3, 15, 3, 5, and 5, 1. Right? So we can write 2160 as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 5. Then to find out the whether it's a perfect cube or not, what we do is we do it in triplets. So we left out with 1, 2. We have a 3. We have 3 3s, and we have a 5 here. So what are the numbers which are left out? 2 into 5. So if we divide it by 10, then it will become a perfect cube. Where did you go wrong, Rishima? Factorization?
Sir, I divided 270 by 3 and I wrote 9.
That's okay, even if 9, okay, take care of that. Siddhant Garve, where did you go wrong?
Yes, sir. So I went wrong on this 2 and I got confused.
Which 2?
So 2 and 6 is equals to 2 into 2 into 2. That's one.
Okay, so you forgot the fourth cube.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll practice more about this in the next class. That's it for today for cubes and cube roots. We are not done cube roots. So we talked about what is a cube, what is a perfect cube, and how do we find a perfect cube. It's very similar to what we did in squares and square roots, right? Any doubts, anyone in today's, anything related to today's class?